The Benjamin Rose Institute on Aging is a nonprofit, and since 1908, we have worked to address the needs of older adults and family caregivers to help promote the dignity and independence and health of folks in our community and through some of our programming all across the country.
Benjamin Rose is a really valuable asset here in our community. My particular agency has worked with them on several different projects, especially related around educating people about adult abuse, adult protective services, what constitutes elder abuse in the state of Ohio.
Currently, there is no standardized training across occupational groups that can be accessed online by all types of occupational groups. So we felt it was important to develop training that people could take on demand when they had time and they could focus on the training.
This grant is one of the ways it helps us develop the curriculum for training what we call a mandatory reporter, partly as a way to know who is expected or required to do that, what's an appropriate response, and who you should tell to try to connect people with the various programs.
Mandatory reporters in the state of Ohio constitute a wide variety of professionals who work with older adults in the community. And they're very important because sometimes that's the first person who may indicate that there is any kind of suspicious abuse potentially occurring in an older adult's life.
I'm actually a social worker, and one of the first step in solving a problem is admitting you have a problem and identifying the problem. So one of the ways when I do my trainings, I end it by saying, making the report can't guarantee that the abuse will stop. It creates an opportunity.
When Ohio laws changed in 2018, it became imminent to develop training for all types of occupational groups that became mandatory reporters of abuse, neglect, and exploitation.
We received funding to create an online training, which we developed 2 modules to create the training, so that we could train Ohio's mandated reporters of abuse on their duty to report.
The work done on mandated reporter training really will have a lot of positive impact in our community. We feel that one of the biggest drawbacks of underreporting might be the fact that people don't know what to recognize. They don't know where to report. They don't know what to look for as far as adult abuse. So through this training, people have the opportunity to understand the different types of abuse, whether it's the physical, emotional, or psychological abuse, if it's the self-neglect or neglect, or the exploitation, abandonment. And the training provides that kind of avenue to elaborate on what to look for and who needs to be reported to.
The goal is really to train mandated reporters to understand what their responsibility is and to give them the tools they need to be able to identify abuse when it's happening, or if they suspect that it's happening but they don't necessarily know for sure, it's to give them tools to say, like, yep, I think it's happening and we need to do something about it, and also to give them the tools to understand, this is what I do when I know it's happening, this is where I report it, and this is where I'm expected to report it. So the Cuyahoga County Division of Senior and Adult Services recently hosted their World Elder Abuse Awareness Day event here at Benjamin Rose, and as part of that event we gave a presentation on the training that the Ohio State Bar Foundation is funding, and we were really excited because Laura Spires, our program officer, came to our site and got to come to the event and was able to actually introduce us, which was super exciting.
I think very often one of the greatest challenges is that people that are victims of these situations, or people that are unable to care for themselves, often the shame or the fear of finding out is enough to keep them from coming forward even when they should. And so this helps destigmatize that issue for some people, empowers somebody who can act to feel that they can. And that's an important part of the opportunity to do this training, and one reason why we're so grateful for the support for this program.
Adult Protective Services has to have a reciprocal relationship with community services. When APS gets the case and they want to put together a protective service plan, they have to work collaboratively with the services in the community. So Benjamin Rose, not only have they done all this research, but they also been a very big collaborative partner providing services.
What makes this place special is that we do a lot, and so we have a lot of opportunities to connect research with services and really change people's lives. And for me personally, I get to do work in the field of elder abuse, and so that means I get to help people live lives with dignity, and that's really important to me.